Hey everyone, thank you again so very much for taking the time to share your TCE data from the summer 2016 and fall 2016 course evaluations for your online teaching and learning. Again, we're focusing strictly on questions and comments related to course design with the idea of the aggregate feedback from all of us should help us improve design. And this is feedback from the students. So far we've primarily been doing focus groups with you all as the instructors, and so this will improve it. So I'm going to in this video talk you through and demo what it's going to look like to do this. I'm hoping, because you're online instructors, that you already know how to work with multiple windows because you will want to do this. So first, I suggest you go to the OIA Teacher Course Evaluation, TCE page. Up here in the upper left-hand corner in the URL, it's tce.arizona.edu. Go to that page, the menu on the left, click Instructors. And then again, the menu on the left, you're going to click Reports. And in the middle here, I want you to click TCE Participant, TCE Participant History. And that takes you to where you get this new URL, tceonline.oia.arizona.edu. So yes, you could just skip to going to that one. Okay, so getting to here. So what I'm asking you first to check is select instructor function, and I want you to go to history TCE participation. So I'm not asking you to go to the reports first, and I'll show you why. So I'm going to pull up my spring 2016. I'm not asking you to do spring 2016. I just want to show you an example of something. So I pulled up my spring 2016 where I taught a single section, a single course of Online 102. However, because I taught a course with two sections in it, I want you to show you what happened here because this could be what happened to you all. Notice that this first block of text, there is one section that was exported to UA Access Analytics, meaning enough people took the survey that they would release the responses to me. Notice on this second one, there is one withheld section that was not exported to UA Access Analytics. So on some level, for this second section, so this is section 102, it was again, or no, section 197, there we go, class section 197. Because not enough students took it, they, for ethical reasons, would not release the data to me. We are asking that you give us these response rates. So at this point, for section 201, top one, I had a response rate of 100%, 5 out of 5. And for section 197, I had a response rate for 40%. So please jot those down because you're going to need them, because basically what that means is you're going to share the data from this one, but you're going to tell us that you're still going to tell us at least that 2 people or 40% responded. You just weren't allowed to get the data. We still want to know that. So one, I need you to know that. You then can go get your actual reports in this document. I don't think it has your comments. No, it has your comments too. Okay, so you can get your reports in this document. The main thing is if you get your reports again, oh no, and this has your student response. So you can work from this document. I'm going to take a minute and show you. So there's 2 places you can get your reports. You can also go to UA Access. So this is just a quick aside. You can go to Analytics Reporting. When you're in Analytics Reporting, up here in the tiny menu across the top on the right-hand side of the page, there's Dashboards. Go to TCE Dashboard. So again, up to Dashboards. Don't click the stuff in the center. Now, you'll notice here in the middle of the page this error. Every single time I log in, there's at least one of these showing. You kind of have to ignore it. I'm also about to show you a weird little glitch. Every time I log in for the first time, when I click Instructor Report, it again, has an error, but if I go back and click again, voila, it shows up. So I don't know what's going on there, but just showing you. Again, just notice this is another place that you can get your data. The TCE pages, though, quickly showing you, they separate the report, which has the quantitative, the number data, and the comments, which has the commenting data. Okay, so the first part of this video is just kind of showing you where to go find your TCEs and that response rate, saying that we want the response rate. So please do that. And again, I can't stress enough, please check the TCE history, because you may have had some and you just don't know, the report didn't flush out for you or spit out for you. So please, we want that data. Make sure you check this TCE history. Okay, you know how to get your reports. Now let's go to the actual survey. Up here in the upper left-hand corner, I have the bit.ly URL for taking this survey, and you're going to have to take a survey for every single section. So if you taught a course that had 2 sections, I will need you to take the survey for both sections. So notice it's bit.ly/online, all lowercase, TCE, all uppercase, then Feb 2017. Is it Feb 2017 or is it Feb 17? We're going to find out real quick. I think it's 17. Yay! Notice I broke it. Feb 17, I lied. There we go. I will put the URL in the email when I send this video out. Okay, so here's the survey. It should look something like this. Again, we're suggesting that you probably print these out or at least have multiple windows open like this. I'm also suggesting, even though I'm going to talk through the comments at the end of this video, that you probably want to analyze your comments before you take the survey. So we are asking for your name. The only reason we're asking for your name is so we can track who has submitted for which courses, for which sections, so we can follow up and try to get everybody's, because again, this is functioning as assessment for the program. Okay, so for me, it's fall 16, it's 308, that's what I taught last fall, and yes, I did take the master course. Please note, as long as you worked from some version of the master course, even if you made lots of revisions, please say yes. Basically, only say no if you built your own course. So, going. Now, major changes. Major changes, honestly, those are really big things. So if you completely gutted and redid a different assignment, or you made really significant changes to assignment, consider that a major change. If you fixed grammatical errors, if you added or subtracted 1 or 2 homeworks, even, for example, even if you switched the order of the assignments, but they more or less stayed the same, I'd say that was all minor, and obviously making announcements is not even messing with the design. Again, unless you made some really significant changes, say that you worked with the course. So in this instance, did I make changes? No, I worked with the master course pretty much as is. Then you're asking the section number for the TCEs. So the one I am working from, let's see, let's go pull it up just so you can, I'll pull it up in both. I'm working from 308-101. And also I'm going to go here. (308-101). Okay, so I have these open. So it's section, it's course 308, section 101. I'm going to go put in section 101. And now I'm going to look for the response rate. Both of these reports have it. So right here in the center of the drop down, I have a response rate of 66.67%. And then also up here at the top of the document, it lists 66.67%. Now, don't put percentage. These are locked to only take numbers. If you got 0 responses, put 0, and it'll automatically end the survey. If you got, so pretend again, it was that 102 where I didn't get things responded and it was like 16% or something like that, please put the 16% and then just go through the rest of the survey. Don't leave any answers and then finish it. Because again, we want to know that if you got responses, even if you couldn't see them, because we're hoping that we might be able to get the responses in aggregate to contribute to the larger assessment. We'll see. It depends on what OIA says. Okay, so again, section percentage going forward. Now, for the quantitative questions, for the number questions, we're asking for 3 pieces of information. We're asking for the mean or the average, we're asking for the standard deviation, and then we're asking for the mode or the frequency. So what you have to do is for each question, you have to click mean and standard deviation, and then I'll show you what you're doing. Now, we're not asking you to report on every single question. Dev and I spent some serious time trying to focus on very specific questions that focus on the design of the course. So the first one is about the technology, rate the overall usefulness of the online instructional tools. So what I would do is I would grab a little bit of copy from that and go to your page, search for it. Okay, so there's the question. Double check. Now first I'm looking for the mean or the average, and it's 4.56. I'm gonna go put that in here. And then I'm looking, sorry, let's delete out of there. I'm looking for the standard deviation. It's 0.5. And now I'm looking for the frequency or the mode. So what that means, so here they have frequency. It's whatever answer includes the highest number that marked it. So for here, it's the answer almost always useful. 5 is the highest. And if I go look at this one, let's go find the same question again. There it is. So again, almost always useful, response count 5, it's the highest. So I'm going to come back here, almost always, and plug in 5. Now, if for some reason, say it was a split one, 4 and 4 in those 2 places, you could do that. But in this instance, it was 5 and 5. So I'm going to repeat and do this again. The question is, how much have you learned in this course? So again, I'm going to search here. Okay, there's the question. How much have you learned? My mean is 3.7. My standard deviation is 1. And then now I want, oops, here we go. My frequency or mode. So frequency here, 4 is the highest, as much as usual, 4. And if you're working from the blue one, how much have you learned? There we go. 4, as much as usual, 4. So I'm going to check as much as usual and 4. Now, we ask that you continue and do the rest of these questions, which I'm going to hit pause on this video because you don't need to watch me do these all. I do want to say, though, it appears that if you're not teaching a UA online class, you may not have, your students may not have been asked all these questions. So if the question does not show up on your survey, don't worry, it's, skip it. However, we do ask, please verify, make sure, again, probably search that the question does not show up. Don't just accidentally skip it. So I'm hitting pause. I'm going to fill in the rest of mine, and I will turn the recording back on when I'm ready to answer the quantitative or qualitative. There we go. Okay. I'm in the last question. I do want to quickly say, again, if you're realizing that you don't have some of the questions, please double check, triple check, because yesterday when we were doing all this together in the same room, some folks who didn't have questions in the middle had this final, what is your overall rating of this course? So again, make sure you check all of those. And notice again, you only check the boxes where you actually put numbers in. So always the first 2, and then whatever the mode or frequency is highest. Okay, finished with the number crunching. Now going to the comment report. So please take a moment and read all of this before you answer. But I'm going to explain it. So what we're asking you to do is to read through your comments. We have a question for each set of comments, and to, kind of synthesize or code for us answers that pop up, and again, only focus on answers that are about design. So things that are like scaffolding, smaller, earlier assignments, built towards larger ones, that's about design. Too much work or too much time, that's about design. The fact they like learning new technologies, that's about design. Connecting projects that work to the real world, those are usually like 307, 308 ones, again about design. Now if they're commenting on like speed of response, the tone, attitude, or helpfulness of communications, that's not design, that's you get to own all that. Or if they're commenting negatively about that, you get to own that too. But don't code for those. We don't want that information. We just want things that as you read it, it's connected to design. So what we're asking you to do is for each question, read through and kind of pick out key trends. And then what we're asking you is to kind of synthesize them and then give us a count. So for example, in this instance, I'm saying that for one of these questions, that too much work was a common thing, and 4 of the 9 people who responded said that. And similarly, even if only one person said something, please put that. So it was difficult to use Google Drive, or the technology was difficult, 1 out of 9. Please put that, because whereas for you it's only one person, if we in the aggregate, a bunch of us have a bunch of folks saying the technology was too much, but even though it's only one from each class, that does tell us in aggregate something we want to think about. So here, let me demonstrate what I've got. So for my first question here, what did you especially like about this course? I had 10 responses to that question, so I count first. And then I went through and kind of read them and came up with some codes. So 1, I had someone who positively commented about teamwork or group work, so 1 out of 10. I had more than one person, 3 people, comment on that they liked that it was relevant to work, major, real world. I had one person comment that they like how projects were scaffolded and built on one another. I had 3 people talk about they like learning technologies. So again, 3, 10. And then I had 2 people comment on that they learned a lot and they appreciated that. And so that's one of those things, at this point I'm going to claim it design. But so hopefully that makes sense. So I went through, I pulled out the comments that I thought were related to design. If some were close enough to overlap, I counted them more than once, and then I reported them like this. So my next answer, again, 10 made responses. Even if they took the time to put NA, not appropriate, I did it. Now this particular question, notice it's about the instructor, so there might not be as many things there, but please do read it. Even though in theory, it should be about you, realize that a lot of students don't understand the difference between design and kind of delivery, and many of them don't realize that you potentially didn't build the course. So this I have a lot less. I basically only have one relevant one comment that was relevant to content or design, and so relevant to the major. Now this next one, again, suggestions would make you improve this course. And this I do want to note that in particularly this question, if students take the time to write none or nothing, I wouldn't improve it. Please put that, because that does say something about the design of the course. So I had 1 out of, 10, making sure each time. So I had 1 out of 10 that said nothing. I had 4 out of 10 say it was too much work. I had, again, 1 comment that they liked the scaffolding. 1 said that they didn't like the group work, so that's interesting, right? Above, I had 1 person who said they did like the group work, another one who didn't like the group work. Someone wanted better topics. They didn't like the topics that the course did. So I'm hoping this kind of makes sense. And again, I appreciate you taking this, and I know it's a 20-minute video, a long time. If you have any questions or you want help, please just schedule time with me and we can input it together if you'd like. We're asking that you do this over the next week, so probably by the end of, like, what is it, March 3rd or something like that, we're asking that you have it done. Thanks a bunch, and again, if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask.